audience watching about my experience, if somebody does go the route of kidney, very confusing ball of wax that patients are dealing with. So went back to like, they'll tell you, okay, you can eat pizza now, you can have potassium, you can have phosphorus.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Kidney Coach YouTube channel. I am naturopathic Dr. Fiona Chin, co-founder of Kidney Coach, Kidney Disease Solution, and our supplements Kaigenesis. And I am very excited today to be joined for the first time by the beautiful, amazing Stephanie Modavis. Now, Stephanie is such a, look at her, she's drop dead, stunning, gorgeous. But Stephanie, believe it or not, has been through 2 kidney transplants, and she just has such a wealth of knowledge. And she's super passionate about holistic healthcare, coaching, and how to navigate the journey of healing after, before, and moving through things like autoimmune diseases, kidney failure, and then and I'll let Stephanie share her story, but she's been on dialysis and then the heartbreak of a failed transplant and having to go through it all again. But what I really love about Stephanie is that her resilience and really what she's cultivated through her journey to come up with strategies and ways that really have allowed her to navigate something that's super stressful and transform it into something that she's not only used to help heal herself. So now walk me through the next part of your journey, because you obviously went through 1 transplant and then a second one, which I can't even imagine what that would have done. Right. You're like, I surrendered, I got through this, and are you kidding me? I've got to do this again. So that's a whole new level of, but I guess you were more well prepared. So what did you do the second time differently from the first time that you think, what had you learned where you're like, this is what I'm going to do this time that I didn't do? Did you have a sort of like, okay, it's got to be done differently or anything like that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I want to be very transparent for the audience watching about my experience. If somebody does go the route of kidney transplantation, it has different lifespans. The kidney has different lifespans in different bodies, and it depends on the underlying conditions, right? And also, unfortunately, the current medications that they offer are nephrotoxic. So it's a very confusing ball of wax that patients are dealing with. So during my first transplant, again, I'm the type of person who innately is going to want to do everything perfect. And honestly, probably one of my greatest lessons, just a tiny little side note, is that I realized that I had, very severe people pleaser tendencies and perfectionistic. And that was a part of the things that had to change within my process. So, but when I got transplanted, I went back to like, they'll tell you, okay, you can eat pizza now, you can have potassium, you can have phosphorus. And I was like, okay, yeah, once in a while, but I got to be healthy. And that's something that I don't see as much as I'd like within the patients who've been transplanted. There's this, okay, go live your life now, do what, here are the rules, take your meds, but nothing else. Unfortunately, I meet a lot of transplant patients who don't have a healthy diet. They become very overweight, they become very depressed. And I'm thinking, well, wait, we missed all the part about you have to still integrate health and wellness after your transplant. It's critical. Right. So, yeah, so definitely, when I had the news that the kidney was starting to not function as well, that started with my blood pressure going up a little bit. What had happened was I had recurrent urinary tract infections. Just the way my body was, the kidney is very close to, the bladder and the ureter, the way that it's transplanted. And then in addition to the medicine, they think that they had given me a little too much, that might have also been contributing to the vascular issues and the things with the failure of the transplant. But yeah, nobody ever wants that news, because then you're like, okay, here we go again. Right. So just for anybody listening, you don't want to go through 1 or 2 transplants, but I am here to say that you can get through it and come through it even better. It's just going to be a heck of a journey. So what I decided, there was nothing very specific that I decided to do different, because I felt as though during my first run with my transplant that as so far as exercise and nutrition, I felt like I was doing a pretty good job. In my heart of hearts, I felt like it was partly the medicine. I didn't stop taking it. Of course, you have to take the medicine. But I felt like that could have been doing some damage along with the urinary tract infections. And again, it was a little bit of me being compassionate to myself and not trying to beat myself up and say, well, you could have done this better. It was like, Stephanie, chill with the perfectionistic tendencies. Maybe this is just something that was out of your control. I know that you'll be aware if there's something you can do better. So just relax and let's ride this wave again. But I will say that through the second one, I just have a slightly different commitment in my attitude. So I've realized that you can't, most likely you're not going to continue to get transplants. So it has run through my mind, Stephanie, you got to live your life as if every day were your last now, and you could go another 20, 30, 40 years, but the things that you're not doing and the person that you're still afraid to be, you must become that person. So it really challenged me to go deeper into my self-worth and really say, what did you come here to do? And you have to be bold enough to challenge the narrative and to step out there with your message. And my message is a little confrontational for some traditional providers, but I've committed to myself. For the rest of my life, I have this beautiful commitment to not just the goodness of transplantation, which it is good. And the Western medical model, everything is transplant, but my commitment is to truth and goodness. So I come with the other aspects that I feel are needed and missing and lacking. And, certain providers know it. Other providers don't know what to do about it because, again, we're still so connected and we're disconnected in the West from the mind body holistic Western model marriage. So that's the goal for the rest of the time that I'm here, is to really try to push the message that the holistic care and the mental and the emotional and anything integrative you can do must be coupled with your kidney disease and your transplant experience.
What a beautiful message, and what a great way to reframe what your experience and what you're going through to give yourself purpose and meaning, which is just
absolutely
a whole other level from being a victim to what happened to you. So if you want more information about Stephanie, I'll put in all the links below. If you want to find out more about what we do, head to www.kidneycoach.com. You'll often find it, not often, you will also find us on Facebook and Instagram under all the same stuff. Remember to hit subscribe and like. That way you will get notified anytime we put up new content. Stephanie, thank you again. Really appreciate you. Looking forward to this journey with you. And everybody listening, thank you for being part of our community. As always, I hope you found this valuable. We look forward to seeing you next time.